All right. Okay, thank you, everyone. So I'm an associate professor at Queen Mary, and my research combines artificial intelligence with emotional health. So in my spare time, I love art and storytelling. And so this is my first story-based workshop. So thank you so much for coming to participate and being my first group to share this with. And Benson today will be helping me. And so Benson, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, besides, I'm passionate about nonviolent communication, as most of you here. I am a counselor, a psychotherapist, and also researching into combining emotional health and artificial intelligence.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so this today is a story-based workshop where you, the audience, is going to play an integral role in helping our protagonist face her inner demons and recover her inner light. So this journey ahead will be one of self-discovery as we help our protagonist confront the challenges that lie within her. And as she goes on this quest to find herself again, she'll need your support. You'll be asked to tap into your reservoirs of internal wealth and share some of your own light to the collective cause. So in this journey, all of us are going to be performing the part of the chorus for her internal drama. So this is the collective voice. And whether you choose to contribute through only your private internal journey, or also in conversations with each other, we'll all be helping to create the atmospheric conditions that will help our protagonist overcome her inner challenges. So some initial guidelines for the collective, just to remind us that emotions are sensitive, so we can always opt not to share, and to be gentle and mindful about sensitivities or past difficulties that we or others may be carrying or unable to voice. And we can always contribute to the course with our own private experience. And a final word before embarking on our adventure is a reminder of an important truth, which is that imaginings ignite the same brain pathways as real life encounters. Okay, so meet Eliza, 29 years old, digital marketing specialist. She's lost connection to herself, and her secret fear is that she's not enough. Eliza is finding work stressful. She's often concerned about not being good enough and secretly suspects that the same work takes her much longer than anyone else. As the pressures mount in her head, Eliza is finding she has little energy left during her downtime. In the recent years, she's come across a perfect solution for her energy-depleted downtime: a virtual cyberspace. In cyberspace, she could be whoever she wanted to be and have many adventures with almost no effort. This works well for her because she often feels quite unsure of who she is and whether she has anything to offer. She finds the ability to adopt virtual personas is the perfect way to fill the gaps in her self-image. She could be really fun and carefree, or she could be cool and confident. She could be exotic and mesmerizing. Her online personas become an extension of her identity. She feels they somehow perfectly express who she wants to be. She then finds out that she can upload adventures into her personas without actually having to experience them herself. She could be an explorer of oceans, a connoisseur of music, and someone who makes solo treks across the world. And she feels like she's this exciting person with an adventurous life. After all, these personas are representations of her. As the algorithms improve, her personas are able to hold more and more fascinating conversations, flaunting an abundance of knowledge with almost no effort required from Eliza. At first, cyberspace is an easy pleasure a distraction kept well under control. But over time, Eliza feels she has less and less energy for any other parts of her life. So her downtime becomes increasingly dominated by cyberspace, and soon it takes over her life. One day, an unlikely event occurs. She receives a letter in the post. It's worn and tattered. It has only her name and no address. She opens it and finds the following letter inside. So is there someone in the audience who would like to read the letter?
I can read.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Dear future me, dear future Eliza, in 20 years, I will be 29 years old. I will live in a huge house with bright, colorful rooms, like living in a rainbow. I will still love my family and friends, playing games and the nature outdoors. I will also still love reading books, especially stories of magic and adventure. Sorry, I cannot see the.
Yeah, so
I see a shade covering the bottom 3 lines.
So Eliza reads the letter and she cannot read the bottom 3 lines. She doesn't remember what she wanted to be.
Oh, I see.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that night, she has a strange dream. Massive golden clocks with an uneven ticking sound, and a strange figure that is an hourglass with sand running out of time. A dark cathedral looms in the shadows, and voice starts shouting, "Wake up, wake up, wake up." And she wakes up. It's barely on the edge of morning. She gets up, looks at the city outside, and decides to go for a walk. She walks down the empty early morning street, trying to shake off that strange dream. And as she walks, a billboard catches her eye. "Wake up to your potential. Apex, join our new expedition." It catches her curiosity. She goes home and looks it up online. It's certainly been a while since she'd done anything of an actual experience of, well, anything at all. And whether because of the dream or for whatever other reason, she decides she will give it a go. So would someone else like to read about this potential adventure that Eliza is going to go through?
I can read.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Apex, scaling the peaks of human potential. Join our new expedition. We will show you how to operate from their life. Unique center of your empowered self. It's the adventure of a lifetime. Before we can enlist you on this adventure, we need to check your emotional fitness to ensure you're qualified. Sign up by completing the emotional health check below. Start emotional health check.
Thank you. So Eliza signs up and starts her emotional health check. 20 minutes later, Eliza receives her emotional health results. Is there someone who would like to read?
I can read that.
Yeah, thank you.
Apex, scaling the peaks of human potential. Dear Eliza, we regret to inform you that based on the results of your emotional health examination, you do not meet the requirements to qualify for our APEX program for human potential. Please see the results of your examination below. Self-awareness, poor. Ability to self-nurture, poor. Contact with personal values, poor. Unfortunately, your emotional health needs to be improved before you can enroll as a candidate for our APEX program. If you'd like help with your emotional health, we have a different journey. Radiance Rehab, recover your inner light. Enroll here.
Thank you. So Eliza decides to go for it. So just now, before we help Eliza start Radiance Rehab, let's have a chorus break to fuel up for her journey. So for a few minutes, we'll think of these questions on our own. And then for those of us who want to go into breakout rooms, we'll discuss for 10 minutes. So the questions are to think of a situation where you felt the best version of yourself, and think of what qualities you were embodying and also what values you were expressing. And Benson, can you paste that in the chat?
Yes, I just did.
Thank you. And so we'll take 3 to 5 minutes to think of it on our own, and then we'll discuss in the breakout rooms.
Okay, so see you in 11 minutes.
Okay, so can you guys see the screen now? Yeah, great. Okay, thank you. Okay, so now I just want to make sure I can. All right, so we left off. Eliza was starting Radiance Rehab. So she enters the program. Welcome to Radiance Rehab. This is your guide, Damon, who will show you the house of your inner self and bring to life your internal battles and help you reclaim your inner light. So she starts. Welcome, Eliza, to your inner world. That cathedral in your dream was the house of your inner self. When others look into your windows, they currently only see reflections of the outside world. This is because your rooms are dark and full of shadows. These shadows are trying to cover the intensity of your inner fires, but they also block out your inner light. The way to reignite your inner light is to get to know your shadows and give care to each and every one. In order to care for your shadows, you have to find a way to have the right amount of distance between you. You cannot push them too far away, and you cannot let them consume you. To help you with this difficult task, I'm going to give you a gift that enhances a capability that you already have. Your ability to have compassionate curiosity. We will enhance your compassionate curiosity with the power of this flower. In hard times, this flower will give you the courage to look into your emotional fire. It will help you seek understanding and care for your shadows. With care, your shadows won't stay black, but instead will lighten and pass on through. Eventually, with enough care, you'll start seeing a flower in the flames. This flame-born flower will be the source of your inner light. We'll put the curiosity flower in this lantern so you can use its light in dark places. It will help you connect to the voice of truth that you already have inside of you, a voice that is calm, clear, and wise. Eliza, are you ready to face your shadows? Yes, she is. So Eliza is given 2 challenges. The first challenge is to bring compassionate curiosity to a moment when you feel criticized or judged. So, time for the chorus. So we're going to practice compassionate curiosity. So we're going to think of a recent time when we perceived criticism or thought we did something wrong. And then think of what emotion words we have to describe how we felt, and also what values and needs that we had that weren't being supported, and what we can do to put more attention to these values and to bring more of these values into our life. So these are actually research-backed techniques for that have been shown to help us reduce threats and threat activation when we're feeling a difficult moment. And so putting emotion words and also reframing difficult situations as an opportunity to connect with values have been shown to bring calm and the helpful distance to a difficult emotion. So you're not pushing it away, but you're also not being consumed. You're able to sit with it with compassion. So here are a list of negative feeling words that can help you. Research has found that people with very good emotional vocabulary, in the sense that they're able to find precise words that are very accurately, with nuance, describe their emotional experiences, that this actually correlates with better emotional health and also greater well-being in general. So they have better relationships and even better physical health. So building up an emotional vocabulary is a really useful thing to do. And so here's a list of emotion words. And so maybe you can have a think for any of them that felt relevant to you in this situation that you might think of. And then we have this list of needs and values. So this you can also use to help label it for your situation. Okay, so oops, not yet. Okay, so can we have the people, I guess, in the breakout rooms now?
10 minutes again?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are there any questions before?
Yes, any questions?
Please, could you post the question?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I posted them. Yeah, let me post them again. I posted them 2 minutes ago. Yeah, do you see them now?
Thank you, yes.
Yeah,
and please copy paste them, because sometimes they disappear when you come to the breakout room. So I give you half a minute and then I let you in. I'm also curious.
Okay, so let's tell, so Eliza, with this new challenge in her head, she returns to work the next day. And it doesn't take long for an emotionally triggering moment to come. So now we're going to do some group storytelling. And so would someone like to offer an example of an emotionally triggering moment that Eliza feels at work?
I can offer one. Someone says to Eliza, someone schedules a meeting in Eliza's calendar, an already busy calendar.
Okay. Someone, without asking her, you mean? Right? So
Yep.
without being asked, someone has scheduled a meeting in Eliza's already busy calendar.
With a very short notice.
Very short notice. Eliza normally would just have shut down and carried on, but this time she knew that she had to bring her lantern and her curiosity. So what feelings do we think Eliza has?
Stress.
Stress, yeah, definitely stress. Any other feelings that come up?
Overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed,
Worried.
worried. Yeah, stress, overwhelmed, worried. I think I'll add angry. I wouldn't like that to happen to me. Yeah, and so what needs and values would Eliza have in that moment?
To be considered, consideration.
Yes, so she'd like to be considered.
Predictability, if that's a need, or
Yes,
consistency.
yes, yes, to have consistency and predictability, absolutely. Yes.
Space, ease.
Yeah, space and ease, definitely. So Eliza examines the situation and she looks at herself and she says to herself, yes, I feel stressed and overwhelmed and even a little bit upset because I would like to have ease and consideration and be able to have consistency in my schedule. Now, what could Eliza potentially do to bring more of these consistency, ease, and reliability into her life?
I know what my Eliza did.
What did your Eliza do?
She said to the person, I feel deeply pressured and a little bit resentful about such a meeting being put in my calendar at such a short notice.
Yeah. And is there definitely, and is there a request that she might have?
Not to go to the meeting.
Can she have someone else go to the meeting? Yeah. Any other ideas for requests?
Consult her next time when similar things happen.
Yes. So Eliza goes to her colleague that scheduled this very last minute meeting in the middle of her crammed calendar and said, you know what? I feel really pressured and stressed and kind of quite upset that this meeting was put in my calendar without having me being asked. And for my ease and my ability to have some consistency at work, I would like to ask if we could have a bit more time in between meetings, and also that I am asked first before a meeting is put into my calendar. And she was able to put this clear request in. It helped her at work, and it also helped her finish her first challenge. So very well done, Eliza, and thank you, Chorus, for helping Eliza. So now we have our second challenge, which is Eliza. She needs to address her internal battles. Eliza, parts of yourself are at war with each other, and you're addicted to the smoke of self-criticism. These parts of you are both trying to look after needs of yours, but they are in a standoff. Let me show you the part of you that is behind each of these shadows. So this, Eliza, is your driven part. So would someone like to read the poem describing the driven part for Eliza?
Do that.
Thank you.
Driven part. I just need to know I have a path to go that has a guarantee of security. Even in times of rest, unease is in my chest. Life is just this tough. I'll never have enough to let myself be free of necessity, of always being led by trying to get ahead.
Thank you. So this part of you, Eliza, is at war with this other part of you. the resting part. Would someone be up for reading the resting parts poem?
I can read.
Thank you.
Resting part. The world is way too cold, not up for being bold. I want to hide away where I can feel okay and give my will a rest in a comfy nest. Responsibility is all too much for me. Allow me to revere where I can wander free. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that.
It is reverie, but thank you.
Reverie.
Thank you. Thank you. So these parts of you, Eliza, are completely in conflict with each other. They both want the best for you, but they've become polarized against each other, and their strategies to help you have become distorted. When one part takes over, the other one's critical voice is chattering behind the scenes. When your driven part is in charge, the resting part says, when are we going to enjoy life? This is no way to live. And when your resting part takes the wheels, your driven part is saying, our life's not going anywhere. Stop being so lazy. They both need to feel heard, cared for, and be reassured that you know how to look out for their concerns. So we're going to put the lantern of compassionate curiosity and help Eliza do this. So have a moment to think to ourselves. Is there a driven part of you? And what does it want? What does it value? And what concerns does it have? And then it's what's the resting part of you? What does it want? What does it value? What concerns may it have? And are these parts of you in harmony or are they in conflict? So having these parts in balance doesn't necessarily mean that we have to have them have equal timeshare, but it's just that they're not unhappy with each other, right? Depending on who we are, our time in our lives, and also what's suitable for our life, we might be very, very dominant in one of these parts. And that's okay as long as we are getting our overall needs met. So there's not just one right way to have a balance between these. But sometimes they can get out of balance in a way that doesn't suit us. And so that's what we're reflecting on here. And so, yeah, so maybe we can get into the breakout rooms to discuss this part, to discuss this for 10 minutes.
Okay, I guess everyone is back.
So hi, everyone. So did anyone, did anything come up for anyone that they would like to share? How many of you, maybe, I don't know if you're able to vote in the reactions, how many of you feel quite in good harmony with these two parts of yourself? Thank you. Yes? Oh, Celia, yes, great, thank you. And how many find there's some disharmony and some, struggle between these parts of yourself? Yes, as well. Sorry, I don't see the name, but the beautiful bird. Oh, HUK. Yes, thank you. And then how was everyone else? What did you think? Like, was it kind of not sure, not relevant? Or you can put in the chat if you prefer.
I personally think those are very great questions to bring a self-awareness, to know what's our inner talk. Yeah. Can you post the question again, since I did not writing down before breakout room?
Yes. Benson, can you post the question?
Thank you.
Yes.
So our final activity is going to be the self-compassion role play. So the idea is we're going to have one person is going to be the protagonist. So whoever wants to take that role first, and we'll switch around. And what we're going to do is that you're going to say some part of you, or you can imagine some part that you might sometimes feel critical of. It could be one from these two parts, like the driven versus resting, or it could be anything else. And what you're going to do is you're going to have the other people have someone else in your breakout room, but I guess in a breakout room, it can be all the others in your breakout room. And you're going to think that they are representing that part of you. You may choose to share what that part of you is, and you also may not, you don't have to share. But what I'm going to ask you to do is to thank that part of you, right? So the exercise, the activity is to, in your mind, and if you'd like, you can share with the group, you say, you imagine that the other people in the group are representing that part of you that you often feel critical of. But the idea here is that parts of us, even when we respond in ways that we don't that aren't fully values aligned, or not even ideally the way we would like, a lot of times that response still is trying to help us, even though it has a maladjusted strategy, right? So with Eliza, her resting part was still trying to help her find ease, and her driving part is still trying to help her, make the most of her life. And so the idea is to, instead of fighting against these parts, is to be compassionate and to say thank you to them, and say, I hear that you want to look out for my need of whatever it is, and thank you for trying to help me look out for that. All right, so let's do 5 minutes because we don't have so much time. So 5 minutes breakout room, and just take some turns saying thank you to the part of you that you might somehow feel critical of sometimes. And so the instructions are for a group of 3, but we can just do them for a group of 4. And
now there are a couple of groups that are 2.
Yeah, 2 is fine. Yeah, 2 is fine. Just have them do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Asia disappeared. So yeah. Okay. So 5 minutes in breakout rooms. And here you go.
So does anyone have anything that came up for them that they'd like to share? Were you guys able to, I haven't tried this activity before. Were you able to think that part, or was it like confusing and hard to do? Oh, thank you for the heart. You can also put in the chat if you prefer and don't want to talk.
I would say I really like doing this activity. My inner self-critical part is now full of gratitude, and that finally I'm seeing it and seeing that it is not actually like against me, but it is telling me what it is I am like longing for, so that I can fulfill that need. So yeah, it was lovely. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Thank you. How was it for other people? Did anything come up, or if it didn't feel particularly good, it'd be really interesting to hear that as well, or it felt stuck or felt anything? Anyone have? Yeah.
Yes, for me also was interesting, and it's very similar to this concept you introduced in IFS, internal family system therapy, where there is some parts, and it's very, very similar to me.
Yes, I used that to inspire the activity. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. For me, it was very valuable to examine with curiosity in thanking the parts that it was able to reveal to what level of harmony and flexibility the 2 parts working together. And this process allowed me to see that where before I was actually seeing them as two separate things, which is a conflict anyway. So this brought more harmony into and balance and flow, not a static awareness, but ongoing. And thank you very much.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Carrie. Thank you. Thank you.
And just to read out the comments by Fei Lu, yeah, it was a good exercise to talk to other parts of self, and you are very creative and insightful. Well done.
Oh, thank you, Fei Lu. Thank you for that. Okay, so I'm going to share the final bit of the journey with Eliza. Slideshow, current slide. Okay, so can everyone see the screen? Yeah, great, thank you. Okay, so with everyone's help and the light of her lantern, Eliza is able to bring harmony to her conflicting parts. And so would someone like to read what Eliza says to her, the directive part?
I can do it.
Thank you, okay.
I hear that you want me to be safe and live up to my potential. I promise I will do my best to learn and grow.
Thank you. And would someone like to read what Eliza says to her resting part?
I hear that you want me to feel pleasure and ease and have the space to be free. I promise I'll make time for rest and have real adventures driven by my curiosity.
Thank you. And she says to both of them together, you're both welcome here. I promise I'll look after you both. You come from a beautiful place. So Eliza learns to take care for her shadows. The shadows are now her friends. They no longer conceal, but instead help to bring out her inner light. And so would someone like to read the very bottom of what Eliza hopes to be when she grows up?
I'll read it because I
Yes.
read previous part before.
Perfect.
When I grow up, I hope to be a maker of magic lanterns. My lanterns will shine a light that makes everyone beautiful, happy, and kind. How beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you for the reading. So congratulations, Eliza, and congratulations to everyone with all your help. Eliza once again can shine bright with her inner light. And yeah, so then just wanted to, as a further thoughts, curiosity is not just for dark times, but it's also for sunny days and blue skies. And so staying close to our curiosity will help us create, connect, and explore the world. So here's my contact information if anyone wants it. There's Instagram and LinkedIn. And oh, please, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love if you could give some feedback. And if you're happy to give a testimonial, you can also check that on the feedback form. And Ben has put the link in the chat as well to the feedback form. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or anything, final thoughts that they'd like to share?
I didn't hear your speciality. Would you care to iterate again?
Oh, can you say that again?
What's your specialty?
Oh, for my research. It's a combination of artificial intelligence and machine learning with psychology. So it's like machine learning and behavior change and well-being.
Wow, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to share my experience with your class. I feel very creative, and also it's inspired too with all the questions, and bring up some curiosity definitely, and also self-awareness. Yeah, I want to say thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you.
I can also share something. I really like the storytelling, and I can see the potential in very many settings, not just to share NVC in the traditional way, but to especially to maybe to young people to be able to share it like a story and to investigate in their own what's happening in my body and so on. So I think it has a great potential. So thanks for sharing.
Oh, thank you for that. I'm so happy to hear that.
All right, if no one else has anything, the time is closing in. And thanks again, Anne and Ben, for supporting this workshop. Thank you very much for joining us here, and have a great evening, day, or wherever you are.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.